on? What's up, YouTube? Been a minute. Do a little quick sound check. Make sure everybody can hear me. Mm. Let me know how I sound. Trying something a little bit different. If it sounds the same as in the past, let me know. If it sounds better, if it sounds worse, just let me know. Hey, baby. Let me know how I sound right quick. Sounds good, bad, better than in the past, worse than in the past. Just let me know. Trying something different. Marking the building. What's going on, man? Just doing a little quick sound check. So you can't see me? I don't know what to do about that. I'm looking at myself. Let me pull the stream up. Okay. Okay. Yeah, I can. Yeah, I don't know. I'm on here. Harrison in the building. What's going on, man? Got 6 in the building. Hey, Harrison, man, I need to know if your mom can make me another hat and some other merch, man. I know she got that just hit that lick on that equipment. Oh, you good, Harrison, man? Baby said closing came back. See you now. Yeah. Yeah, no, man, that's fine, man. I kind of expect, because me and Ashley talked about it, and we picked this time slot to kind of cover, if you go to lunch at 11 and come back at 12, then I catch you on the back end of your lunch. If you don't go to lunch till 11:30, catch you at the beginning. If you go at 12, you can catch half a stream. So trying to kind of cover, several people during their lunchtime and stuff like that. I will say I have noticed that closer to 12, things kind of pick up a little bit. But we just here. We're just chopping it up. I have a couple topics we talk about, but besides that, just hanging out with you guys. I know it's getting closer to the holidays. I know that school winding down. I know my daughter, she's virtual school is basically optional this week, so she's kind of out for the most part. When we're going back to January, and even as far as which day in January, we don't really know. So yeah, man. Just thinking about the holidays, people traveling, y'all be safe out there, man. COVID is real. The vaccine is kind of hitting a little bit. They kind of got a lot of public figures taking the vaccine right now, trying to convince people that it's safe and all that stuff. Rationally, I think if you're being rational, nobody expects for you to get the vaccine and start melting there on the spot. I think that's kind of just a publicity stunt. Okay, yeah, so my baby said school officially ends in person and virtual tomorrow. They just sent something out due to COVID. Gotta do what you gotta do, man. I hate that it's to that level where individual schools and counties gotta make them type of decisions. That's above their pay grade, to be honest. They should be getting some direction from all the people above them that's making significantly more money than they're making. They should be responsible for making them kind of calls, but such is life right now. But yeah, man, so it's always been 5 minutes. We're gonna go ahead and get it going. So I know you saw the thumbnail, right? I got a phone in my hand. It is not the Galaxy Z Fold 2. This is a TCL 10 5G, which is probably the most opposite from a Fold 2 you can get. Shout out to TCL for sending this out to me. Yeah, man, shipping blues. All right, so I didn't even order it last Monday. It shipped last Monday, and it is now Tuesday the following week, and nobody knows where it is. The dude shipped the USPS. You talk to them. You go to the tracking. They just say arriving late, and there's there are no scans. Normally you get the scans like saying like, oh, it's here. Normally the complaint is if I live in Alabama and I'm getting something shipped from Kentucky, why is it going to Atlanta before it gets to me? Or why is it going to Chicago and then come? You have them type of questions. I'm getting nothing. Right? I got it departed, and it was expected on the 10th, which was last Thursday, and it's just been reporting late till the 12th, and then now it's just not reporting at all. And so I understand them being backed up and all that stuff, but it's like I'm not even getting status updates at this point, man. So I contacted the dude who I bought it from, a swapper. Let him know like, hey, I ain't got it. Because he was thinking I had it already because it said the expected date was the 10th. He was thinking that I had it and I just hadn't closed the sale. I'm like, nah, bro, I ain't got nothing. So we need to go ahead and I want to let you know, let Swapper know. We might be having to, file a case or something like that. You might need to get ready to use that shipping insurance and give me my money back. So I'm hoping that it does come though. Because I had one other package that showed that same status. It was actually coming from my wife. But it ended up coming though. Like it just showed up. But it wasn't, this many days past the delivery date. So, I'm gonna give it a little more time. I did start a case with USPS, letting them know like, hey, I'm having trouble tracking this, and they replied back that they are, look into it and let me know. So, I don't know. Best case scenario, it shows up even if it is late, because it's a great deal that I got. I got one of the customized ones with the silver hinge for a great price. Got accessories, D-brand case, tempered glass. It's in great condition. So I would love to get that one. That's the one I've been looking forward to. But if I got to get something else, that's cool. What up, Big Migs in the building? BG Tech Life says, "Damn, bro. Yeah, man. And the thing is, the thing is, if it wasn't a fold, I might be a little bit less verbal about my my anxiousness and my anxiety. But it is, man. This is my first foldable device. I'm genuinely excited. I haven't been this excited in a minute. Like for reference, I added a line to T-Mobile to switch my wife over, and T-Mobile is sending out a OnePlus 8T. It's supposed to come today. I shoot some videos with it. I'm not near as excited about that as I am this fold though. Yeah, so Mark says, mess with USPS. The Fold 3 gonna be out by the time you get it. That's the way it feels, man. Big Mig says USPS is slacking badly. I have 3 packages still en route for 3 weeks. Oh, don't say that, man. Look, once it get to the end of this week, once it get a week past the delivery date, because the thing is, the dude sent it priority. Priority is 2 to 3 days. He shipped it last Monday, scheduled for Thursday, 10th. It's already the 15th. I haven't got an update since the 12th as far as like where it is, or even them telling me that it's still en route. Like they hadn't said anything for the past 3 days. So if it get to be Thursday, at that point to me, I have no confidence that they're going to get me my package, right? They have there's nothing they can tell me. They can keep saying it's on its way, but at that point, we got something that's taking almost 2 weeks to get to somebody. That's supposed to be 2 to 3 days. So, we're going to have to start that paperwork. BG says, I hope you get it, bro. Yeah, man, I appreciate it. One of them is coming from New York, and I'm in New Jersey. Yeah, man, that's the thing. This one is coming from, I think it's coming from like the East Coast somewhere, if I'm not mistaken. But in the meantime, I ordered something from AliExpress, right? I ordered a mount, and I'll show you guys the mount here in a second. I ordered a mount from AliExpress, and AliExpress shipped it, and it showed up in the time that this is being kind of in limbo. So to me, that's kind of weird. Like I have several other things that's shipped and showed up in the same amount of time, that in less time that this is supposed to show up. So it's wild, man. BD says praying. Said what up? Israel in the building. He says been waiting a month, so I feel you. Oh man, you got something you waiting a month for, man? Ah, yeah, this shipping is crazy, man. And like I said, the delays, I understand that. USPS, COVID. I'm aware of all of that. But something that I thought was pretty much automated, like when your package arrives somewhere, like it gets scanned or should get scanned, and you should just get that notification. Um, that's just not happening. Like the only thing I got was it departed, and that's it. And to me, that means y'all don't know where it is because it hadn't been scanned nowhere. So I don't know, man. It's like I say, I'm hoping it comes. But in the meantime, I guess I can show you guys the mount that I got for the fold. It's super dope, man. Like I said, I got it from AliExpress. If y'all see if I can take it off of here. Ugh. But yeah, man, if any of y'all want like the link to it or something like that, let me know. I will definitely get it to you. Especially if you got a fold, man. Even if you don't have a fold, because I've been using it for my regular phone, like my S20 FE that I'm recording this on right now. I've been using it for that, and it's been working out good. So let's see. So this is the mount right here. So as you can see, this joint is super wide. You see the Qi symbol, so it does C charging. It's got a Type-C port, which is dope. You got a little release button there, and I'm gonna plug it in so you guys can see how it works. But obviously the big thing about this mount is it's wide enough to hold the fold. So if I take this big TCL 10 5G and stick it in here, you see you got space on both sides, sideways, right? So the other thing that's dope about this, so it lights up, Qi logo lights up, got a little light on the bottom, shows you a little status light. Put it in, boom, it's automatically closes.
Two things.
Holds your device.
It gets hot.
Starts charging your device. Now, I got it in there with the power button down, so it's pressing the power button. But the other thing is, press the button, opens up, you're ready to go. Come back in, pop it in, boom. And then as far as the fold goes, this is basically, once you open the fold up and put it sideways, you'll be able to have the fold in there open. And it's locked in there. And it comes with a couple of attachments. I have the suction cup mount down. And they also have a vent clip. Let me show you guys the vent clip right quick. So the vent clip, they both use like a little ball and socket attachment, I guess you call it. But the vent clip, you can hear that on this little brace right here. So instead of just having like the little vent clips, they just clip on the vent and that's it. And it's supposed to hold your phone. Like I've never had faith in those. I'm like, either that's gonna slip off, or like the vents are made of plastic. Like it don't matter what car you in, you ain't got no strong vents. They ain't designed to hold no phone, especially these new ones. But this one actually has like little feet, so you clip on to the vent, and this right here rests against your dashboard, and it gives it a lot of stability. I have a lot of confidence in it. It had like it has like little rubber feet in here to grip onto the vent. So this thing was I think it was $19.99 on AliExpress. I'm loving it, man. I mean, it's got plenty of. The other thing too is, put this in. So the phone's in here, but as you can see, it's got plenty of clearance. It's got rubber padding on here, and on the bottom. And there's plenty of, look how much clearance you have. So even if you got the thickest case on, you still can put your phone in here. Like any device you want to put in here, you don't have to take case off. You don't have to worry about none of that. It's dope. I'm smitten. I'll say that. Especially being a tech gentleman, you got to have something that's, that's a little techy. And I feel like that's a pretty cool solution to something like that. So I'm excited about being able to have the fold, fully opened up when I'm driving around. That'll be dope. Um, Using maps on there, that's gonna be cool. Having the fold open up with maps, controlling your music and all that stuff. That's gonna be dope. If you got an older car, it'll definitely, breathe new life into it. So I'm excited about that. But I gotta get the phone first. That's the thing, man. I feel like I've been talking about this for a minute. I'm hyped, but we just waiting here, man. But yeah, so pretty much everybody has the shipping blues right now. Just kind of waiting. It's a roll of the dice. Let's see. Harrison said someone probably thought it was a PS5 in the box. And so I had something like that happen when I got my Galaxy Watch 3. Because of the way that the box is for the Galaxy Watch, it comes in a much bigger box. Just because the watch box is so long, they had to put it in a bigger box. And the whole side of that was busted out. Like you could tell somebody like ripped the side open and looked in there, thinking it was a PS5. Obviously, the box was drastically smaller than the PS5, but you could tell that's what happened. Like it wasn't crushed. Like it literally like the side of the box was like ripped open. So I'm very worried that that's what happened. That's why I'm also anxious about it getting here. Because I mean, if I'm looking for a PS5, but I open a box and it's a Galaxy Fold, if I'm in a stealing mood, I'm probably not gonna pass up that. I done already risked it all to try to open this box. So, I do have that worry as well. Sean in the building, he says shipping isn't the same, but again, it's COVID. Yeah, man, COVID is real, man. It's having a real impact on stuff. Mark says, what's up, BG? 30 kills. Yeah, 30 kills in the building, man. If y'all don't know, Team 100, less me, but more Alan and Alan, Rob, and BG. They be on their Call of Duty. Let's see. BG says, yeah, Mark already. Yeah. Yeah, Sean, play that violin, man. It's rough, man. It's a hard weight. Especially because the reason why the main motivation for getting that device, because I was going to get rid of the Note anyway, just kind of in preparation, because Samsung is, the S21 is coming out in January. Supposedly the next Fold is going to be here like in March or something like that. So that's super early. So I was going to go ahead, get the Note out, get the most money for that. But specifically going ahead and going with the Fold was just the feedback I've been getting from everybody that uses it. Like last year, like people had apprehensions, you had the fragility issues, the durability stuff. This year, man, everybody that touches their Fold too, they're like, it's the business. Like the only person I know who said they touched the Fold 2 and didn't like it was Stud. I don't know if he was just trolling or what. but yeah. Now I said it's the Fold isn't for everybody, right? So, some people it's just not appealing to, for whatever reason. But I think also the part of that is the price, right? I think that if you bought a Fold 2 for like $800, I think that at that point, unless you just have a real specific use case, but like I work in construction or, I'm a scuba instructor or something like that, and I'm around water, I'm just around hazardous conditions, then yeah, that's not going to be the device for you. At least it can't be your main device. You can't be walking around with a hard hat and a Fold in your pocket. Because also the case options are very limited. So you literally can't, unless you go put it in a pouch or something like that, you literally can't really take it everywhere. It's not an everywhere do everything device. But outside of that, man, just the idea that wherever I go, I'm ready for whatever as far as consumption. You go somewhere, and especially now, man, doing a lot of curbside pickup. Like right now, like I'm imagining this going to pick up something, placing an order, for groceries or food or something like that. You pull up, man, bow. And the thing is, my rationale before was, well, I got a tablet 7 Plus. Why would I choose to look at something on the Fold when I got a tablet 7 Plus? I got the best screen on the tablet, hands down. Even including iPad Pro, it's better. But the thing is, if you don't have the tablet, it don't matter how good the screen is at home. If you sitting in front of, Publix waiting to get your order. So if you have it with you all the time and you always ready to pop it open, that's gonna be, kind of game changing. But also, I'm thinking about different things. So I've been shooting some videos with the S20 FE, the Pro mode on the Samsung devices, giving you that flexibility. Right, like right now, I'm doing this live stream with a Blue Yeti plugged into the S20 FE. That S20 FE costs $699, but right now I've instantly boosted up the audio, and then the lenses, like the camera hardware is not bad at all, right? I think you have like Samsung struggles with processing some shots because at a certain point they just have to make decisions, and with them being a Korean company, like they tend to blow out highlights, especially on the front face of camera a lot. I don't think that's not a hardware problem, right? Because you could reel that in. It's a processing choice, right? So I'm dark. I got on dark clothes. Seats in the truck are dark. The sun is not out. Yet it's still blowing out all of that, right? But if I was lighter, it wouldn't have to work as hard to expose me properly and conserve the background, right? But that's just something that Samsung cameras do. They always blow out the back. They always blow out highlights on the front face of camera and stuff. So with the Fold, now that you can open it up, you can use the rear cameras and still have a viewfinder. To me, that's going to be big, especially as a YouTuber. You know, I mean, that's going to be game changing for. I was on Easy Stream last night. He called these like talking head shots. He's like, yeah, for the talking head videos, I use these settings. I better use the rear camera for selfies, rear camera for talking head shots like this. I mean, and then if I'm actually, filming something like for my YouTube channel, having that big viewfinder, being able to see it, because I'm shooting in 4K. I'm just thinking about all the benefits of having that flexibility of being able to see no matter what I'm doing, recording on the front or the back. But then when you get done, you fold it down and it's smaller than a regular phone. So it's skinnier. So one-handed use is going to be even better because it is so narrow. Like it won't be great for everything, but if you take text messages or social media, Facebook, Instagram, scroll through a chat, like that candy bar in my mind is going to be more comfortable to use one-handed. Of course, when I get in the hand, I'll let you guys know. But yeah, that's part of my excitement as well, man. BG said F the S21. Man, it is ugly, man. I'll say that. I don't know if the picture's not doing it justice. It looks horrible though, especially some of them colors. It says RIP Note. Yeah, man. If it all depends on this Fold. If they put a pin on that Fold, well, really, the S21. Supposedly they're gonna put the same Wacom digitizer that's in the Note in the S21, but they figured out a way around having to build a silo into the phone. And so what they're actually going to do is have a case that houses the S Pen. So if you want the S Pen functionality, you can buy the case. Now, I know that case is going to be high as hell because already they're selling cases for like $60, $65. So you start throwing the S Pen in that case is going to be $100 easy. But if that's something that's important to you, you'll be able to have that functionality regardless of what phone you have. So RIP the Note, what BG said. Yeah, they're going to get rid of that line for sure. Ishmael says, a couple ladies I know just says it's too big to handle. Yeah, if you got smaller hands, I can see that. Like I said, I don't think it's for everybody. Like if you don't consume a lot of media on your phone, if you don't do a lot of, multitasking, if you're just using it for phone calls and text messages and social media, it's kind of overkill, right? You're not really getting any benefit because you're not really, you're not really going hard like that. For me, like on my phones, I always, split screen, have YouTube up top, maybe have a chat, text, Chrome or something like that down below. And on the Samsungs, that's easier than ever because you pull up the little tab on the side and you can save little groups of multitasking setups. So I just tap it, boom, it throws YouTube up top, throws Chrome in the bottom, throws YouTube up top, throws Telegram in the bottom. So that's yeah, man. Uh BG says iPad shots. For sure, man. It's not a shot, man. It's a clarification, a declaration, right? It's a fact. Like that iPad screen is old in the tooth, man. Ishmael says the Fold is the best device of the year for me. It really comes down to price. I need to save up for it close to a rack. Yeah, and that's really the big thing. And I have this whole kind of like mindset about specifically Samsung prices because Samsung is the only one that can do this. So you think about the Fold, right? Fold 2 came out $2,000. Samsung never really expects people to pay, right? I think that they price their phones the way they do, assuming that people are going to trade something in. So the price that they'll actually get for it is going to be less than 2,000. Like it might not be half, but I think that a lot of people trying to get it. If you traded in a Note 10 Plus, you got 650, right? That's down to 14. That's down to 13. 1350 at that point. So now you looking at well, you looking at like closer to a Note price tag. But the other caveat is I could also get 650 off a Note 20 Ultra. But I think that once you see that price tag, I could pay 1350. You can rationalize it as well. Now it's the same price as the Note. Now it's a lot more reasonable. I'll trade it in and I'll get it. And so now Samsung is getting that 1350. And I don't know what they do with the phone. I don't know how they, benefit from you sending your phone in and then repurposing or whatever they do with phones that people trade in. But they also make money off of you from the ecosystem. So the data they collect, Samsung Pay is easily the best mobile wallet solution right now. I don't know how many people use that, but it is great. Their reward system is great. Like watch faces. Like whenever I make a purchase with Samsung Pay, I get rewards points. And you can use those points to buy themes, to buy watch faces, to buy anything in the Samsung ecosystem from their Galaxy store. That's dope. So things like that, they got other ways to monetize. But all their pricing, like even the Note 20 Ultra, like the average selling price of the Note 20 Ultra couldn't have been over $1,000. Like it had to be a lot closer, like 800. Like I said, just because if you had a Note 10 Plus, you was like I traded in my Note 10 Plus and it was shattered front and back, and they gave me 450. So if you had a fully functional device, I mean, you were paying maybe 900 for it. I mean, that's like to me, the pricing that Samsung, sets for the devices has to accommodate for the fact that most people are not going to actually pay that price. Especially like you at a carrier, they're trying to get you to trade stuff in too. But yeah, man, that's the biggest to me. The Fold, the biggest barrier is the price. Right, once you get that price down, man, it's let's go. Let's see. This one says the cameras on the Fold shock me how good they are. Yeah, man. I think the cameras on the Fold are supposed to be like S20 cameras. Like right now, I'm assuming that they're similar to the cameras on the S20 FE. And if they're similar to that, then I'm golden. Right? They're good enough for most stuff. The video, especially when you're going to pro mode, is good enough. But Samsung has just added extra settings, extra features that makes the camera more comfortable to use. Like you can go to the settings on the Samsung camera software now and set it to where it'll open up to whatever the last mode you were in. That's time saving, right? Especially if I'm, I always go into pro photo or I always go into pro video. Now I double tap, it'll drop me right into pro video. I don't have to scroll over and select and all that stuff. It saves the settings. So, if I'm outside and I want to take pictures of my kids or whatever, and I want to go ahead and adjust some stuff in pro mode, I can do that. And if my camera goes off or the screen times out, I don't have to go back and do all this stuff again. I can just pop it back up and it's ready to go with the benefits of pro mode. Maybe, getting to do the manual focus or, manually change the exposure and I can just shoot. I like that. The external audio option that you have, that's dope. Whether I want to use Bluetooth, whether I want to use, Type C. I'm using a Blue Yeti through a Type C adapter right now. That's powerful. You got the big viewfinder, the dual screens. The cameras are good enough, right? But also, I don't know. Like I said, I had the Note 20 Ultra. I can't say that the cameras on there were drastically better. It might be like some niche situations. Maybe the front facing camera on the Note 20 Ultra. If I look back at the videos, maybe it wouldn't blow this out as bad. Maybe be able to handle the exposure a little bit better. I don't know. We're gonna have to see. But I'll definitely let y'all know, because here lately, just thinking about the possibilities, the camera is one place that I'm really, you know, that I'm really looking forward to using with the Note 20 Ultra. I mean, not the Note 20 Ultra, but the Z Fold 2. This one says, it's true, have to account for tax and accessories though. I don't have a Note 10 Plus to trade in though. Yeah, man. Yeah, if you just don't have a device to trade in, then you're looking at the full price tag. At that point, you wait for it to go on sale. But man, if you're not, I'll definitely say, as far as buying stuff off of Swapper, like they're the GOAT right now. I buy stuff from them all day versus eBay or something like that. Just because as the buyer, you have a lot more information. So when you go on Swapper, you can see, like, you just put it in the phone and it takes you to that device. So all you see is that device, and it shows you what everybody's selling that device for. So you can go through, pick and choose. They have requirements for, pictures, for certain amounts of information. You can chat directly to the person, like, hey, I see you got this for $1,350. Would you take $1,300 if I bought it like right now? Can you put up another picture? It looks like there's a scratch on this side. What's going on with that? What carrier are you using? The device says it's T-Mobile, but I got AT&T. Like, have you tried AT&T? Like, it's a lot more of a community. And that's just, especially if you're not used to buying tech secondhand, to me, that's the best way to buy it. But also, you get to see a history of what the device has been selling for, which is huge, because it lets you know, if you look and you're looking for a kind of obscure phone, like if you in America and you're looking for like a Huawei, it might be like 1 or 2 on there or something like that. And they might have it priced exorbitantly high. But if you look and you see, well, the past 3 that sold for $850, I just need to wait. Or you could tell that person, like, hey, I don't know what's wrong with you, but last 3 of these same phones sold for $850. You mind coming down a little bit? Like, what you gonna do? Like, I don't know how much time you got, but you might want to look at dropping the price a little bit. You know what I'm saying? So that's why I like Swapper. And also, being a seller on Swapper, several of the other tech guys in the chat can attest to this. Swapper don't play no games. Between Swapper and PayPal, if you a buyer and you got a dispute or you got an issue, you winning every time. As a seller, you just gotta, like, it's a lose-lose, man. That's why for me, if anybody got an issue or something like that, but you have some people that try to game the system. But generally, if somebody, who buys a device from me got a question or an issue, even after the sale, you still have to kind of accommodate them a little bit. Just so they don't file a complaint. Because if they file a complaint, PayPal is snatching their money because it's coming out. No disputes, no questions. Like, oh, like refund, boom, refund you. Like it's coming back. I've got to a point with like probably 1 or 2 people where I'm like, hey, just send it back to me. Right? Like, if you're gonna go through all this, that's if dust in the Type-C port is an issue for you, go and send it back, man. Ain't nothing I can do about that. Like, what are we talking about? So, but yeah, as far as buying tech off of secondhand, getting a discount, Swapper is great because you get to see kind of like what the true price point of a device is. Let's see. Here's what it says, has Samsung adjusted to aspect ratio for streaming apps? It's more like Netflix and things like that. Are you asking if they take up the full screen or if they still have their little letterbox on the top and bottom or not? Because if you ask about the letterbox, then it's definitely still there. Just because the screen is almost a square, it's got like a weird aspect ratio. It's a lot closer to like an iPad Mini kind of aspect ratio and resolution. So it doesn't take up full screen. Not to my knowledge. I don't know if you can like on YouTube. I know you got the option to expand stuff out. I don't know if you go to YouTube and you expand it out, if it'll like fill out the whole screen, or if it'll just kind of like pop out and like zoom out a little bit. I don't know. I will say, I will say that most content is shot in widescreen, a widescreen aspect ratio. So if you try to fill it out to take up that whole screen, you're gonna lose a lot of content on the top and bottom. Like a lot, it's gonna punch in a lot. So I don't know if that would be a better experience or not. I guess it depends on what you're looking at. Like Netflix, I don't think they give you that option. YouTube will probably be the only one that might give you that option. But once I get it in hand, man, I can test all of that out. Let you know. I'm just playing the waiting game right now, man. But yeah, man, I would, if you're looking at getting one, I would definitely look at Swapper. Like I said, I'm a big fan of that. I bought and sold on there, and they are very seller. I mean, they're very buyer biased. Right? They kind of let you know that. But they also do things like check the IMEI and make sure it's not blacklisted. Like you have to take certain pictures of the device to verify that you have it. It's it's a good service for buying devices secondhand, for real. This one says when you open up websites, I'd like to know if it's easy to use, desktop modes over apps. And that might be another option too. You can always set Chrome to desktop mode. I don't know if Samsung's browser is kind of designed to take advantage of that full screen or not, but from what I've seen, people doing web browsing and stuff, they use Chrome and they just pop it into desktop mode if they're going to use the whole screen for it. But then you also have the multitasking option as well. Use half and half or pop it out into a little pop-up window. You can even use 3 apps at a time, which I think will probably be less likely. I know on my tab at 7, I use that a lot. I might have Chrome or email open. I have a YouTube video playing in the top right. In the bottom left, I might have like a text conversation or Samsung Notes when I'm taking notes and stuff like that. But you have a lot of flexibility, a lot of options. That's what you're buying. You're buying capability to kind of fit into whatever workflow you got. I'm looking forward to it. There's something else I want to talk about. Oh, Cyberpunk. I don't know how many of you guys have been blessed enough to play Cyberpunk. I don't know what devices y'all playing on. I don't know if you're playing on, an OG Xbox One or PS4. If you're playing on an enhanced system like One X or PS4 Pro. If you were really lucky and playing on the next gen or playing on a PC that's powerful enough to run it at, fairly high settings, it's been interesting. All right, I want to talk about this because you see a lot of media. Of course, the negative stuff is going to bubble to the top, right? So I want to share my experience with the game. 6 says cyber glitch. Yeah, there are glitches, man. I say this. I think that this game highlights something that most people need to understand, right? Gone are the days of people releasing a brand new game, a brand new IP, something that's never been done before, and it being bug free. There's no basis for that. Like everything needs to be patched, right? Everything's going to have issues and bugs. Not saying that these issues aren't drastic, not letting them off the hook, but I think the expectation should be there'll be some things that need to be ironed out. With that being said, they should have left at a minimum the PS4 and the Xbox One behind. Logistically, marketing and business wise, was that feasible? Would that have been a good move? Would it have been better? I don't know. Because as of right now, I know PlayStation is having to issue refunds, which I'm sure is coming out of out of CD Projekt Red's pocket. So I know they said they made, it broke all these records for pre-orders and, the biggest game launch ever. And apparently they made back all the money they spent in development and advertising for the past like 8 years. Like, they made 8 years worth of salaries back just with pre-orders alone. So initially it seems like them keeping the older systems financially was better. But I think that as far as just the press that the game is getting, is kind of hurting them. And I don't know how they're going to bounce back. They put out a statement saying they're going to, they're on a patch release window right now, and they're going to release certain patches that should address a lot of issues. But at a certain point, you can't patch hardware, right? The PS4 and the Xbox One were drastically underpowered. They are drastically underpowered now. They were underpowered when they came out. That's why, even though this last console generation was 7 years versus like closer to 10 like PS2, the gap between the PS4 and the Xbox One and what you have on the PS5 and the PC right now is so large. Like, it's drastic. And it hadn't been that way in the past. So I don't know. I kind of feel bad for them because my opinion of the game is it's one of the most ambitious games I've played. I think that the story is very compelling. It's a good story. The way that they are telling the story and incorporating certain stuff I haven't seen before, especially in a video game. The city, Night City, I see why they were pumping Night City and all these advertisements and all that stuff. Like, Night City is amazing. Like, it really is. If you're not on the if you're on the PS4 or an Xbox One, it's amazing. Okay. So 6, I still have a PS4 Pro. I just formatted it though. I don't know if I want to go through all of that to play it on the Pro, but I might do that. I might make a video and do that and just kind of compare my experience on the Pro directly to a 5. Because I don't know anybody who's really doing that. I feel like a lot of people, a lot of reviewers that I see, they are either on like a high-end PC or they're playing on like a next-gen console, and they're telling you what they've been told about how bad the performance is, or they're showing you clips of what somebody else experienced. And that's obviously a snippet, right? So if I play for 20 minutes, 30 minutes, and I come across a guy whose face textures didn't load, like, that's patchable, that's fixable, but if you're playing the scene and the frame rate drops to like 15 frames where it looks like a flip book or claymation or something like that, that's probably a hardware issue, right? So you can't really, so seeing what issues you see, whether they're patchable or not, whether they're fixable or not, because generally when this is a PC first game, obviously you can tell by the way you navigate the menus and stuff like that, you literally have a mouse cursor that you're moving around. So it's PC first, which means they're targeting a high-end PC hardware. Like, that's their showcase. And they're backporting everything else, even the PS5 and the Xbox Series X. At least for the PS5, I'm actually playing the PS4 Pro version, right? There really aren't different versions. It's a lot closer to on a PC, where if I'm playing on a netbook, then it's gonna run like trash. But it's the same version of the game that runs on somebody with a i9 and a 3090, right? Those aren't two versions of the game. It's just my hardware dictates what my experience looks like. For the first time, you have consoles that are able to play the same version of the games. So the PS4 Pro version has upgraded textures compared to the regular PS4 version. So they're the same version of the game. So I'm playing PS5. My experience is benefits from the hardware, right? So I played a Lock 60 on PS5 just because I have so much more power at my disposal than the PS4 does. And even the PS4 Pro struggles. And some of that is going to be the fact that you're playing off of a spinner, 5400 RPM spinner. There's some other technology in the PS5 that helps with streaming and just pulling in textures and assets to minimize pop in and increase draw distance and all that stuff. And like I said, once you see Night City, it's not like it blows Grand Theft Auto away. Granted, Grand Theft Auto 5, the last one we got, came out on PS3 and 360, right? So that game is at this point 3 generations old. But just comparing, like, even I'm trying to think of another game that's open world that was this like densely packed. Like I think about The Division or something like that, where they basically mapped out New York City. It blows that away, just because in Night City you have the verticality as well, right? So you have the visuals, you have the verticality. On top of that, you have the RPG elements in the game, but it's kind of like on another level, right? So I don't know. If you can't tell, I'm very smitten with the game. I think that mechanics wise, I think that story wise, environment, visuals, I think all of that is like, it is worth the money. It is a great game, but it's going to be dictated by your hardware. And for the first time, console players have to actually consider that, because usually on console it's kind of set it and forget it. Like if I put in my console and it plays, it's going to run well, right? Even if they have to dial back the visuals, even if they have to dial back the number of assets on the screen at one time, you know, they would get it to a point where it was runnable. And I think CD Projekt Red can do that. I think they'll get it to where it's runnable on the PS4, the OG one. But the thing is, the target is going to be 30 frames though. And the biggest problem with the OG hardware was it wasn't able to hit those targets. So the target's 30 frames. Right now it's dipping down to like 15, and it's dipping down to like 720p or even less at times. I think with optimization and bug fixes and all that stuff, I mean, you'll be getting a 20 something frame experience with a game that visually is kind of a blemish on Cyberpunk. Even if they are able to load in the textures and all that stuff, just visually, because you aren't able to, because the OG systems don't even upscale to 4K. They're upscaling to 1080p. So you're looking at a sub 30 frame per second upscale 1080p soft mushy image. It's not going to look great. And I think that if you've been looking at all these videos and graphics of Cyberpunk and you bought it on the OG systems, you're going to be disappointed. Like, there's no way around that. I think it's the first game that, I mean, it was ambitious. Like, you think about the number of systems they're releasing it on: PS4, PS4 Pro, PS5, Xbox One, Xbox One X, Xbox Series S, Xbox Series X, and PC, and Stadia. That's 9 platforms. That's 9 different sets of hardware they're releasing this game on. There's really no other game that's had to do that right now. But funny enough, mentioning Stadia, as of right now, they're saying, like, if you have a PS4 Pro, if you have a last gen system, your best experience with the game is going to be on Stadia. So if you really want to play it right now, but you don't have the money, or you just, I mean, getting a next gen system is next to impossible right now, unless you have a bot. Stadia is probably going to be your best option. And it just so happens that Google is sending you the Stadia controller and a Chromecast Ultra for free if you buy Cyberpunk. I think that ends maybe like sometime this week. But if you're really like just wanting to play the game and kind of anxious, the Google servers have the hardware to do it. It's just if you got the internet to support it. So let's see. Ishmael says my favorite system is the Game Boy Advance. Yeah, man, the Game Boys, I never got them as a kid, so I couldn't really get into them. But when I did play them, they were dope. Especially like my wife, she has a DS, Nintendo DS, still runs to this day. Probably gonna pass it out to my daughter once she once she gets this reading and all that stuff down, she'll probably end up playing it. Harrison says it's not on GeForce Now. I don't know. I hadn't looked on GeForce Now. I can check, but I think that the only streaming platform it was on was Stadia, if I'm not mistaken. But that'll be but basically like you know, some sort of platform where you don't have to have the hardware to play it. That is just recently dawning upon me as a major benefit because in the past it's like, well, if I'm going to pay like the Stadia kit for the controller and the Chromecast Ultra, it costs I think like $100 or something like that. Then you got to pay for the game still. And then you got to pay if you want to play it in like a higher resolution. You got to pay monthly for that. So as far as like the value proposition, when you can go out and buy, like, you can spend like $200-300. If you're already in for 150, 160, 170, you can go out and spend $250 and get you a whole console. And then that opens up, the entire library of games, because Stadia, the weak point right now is game availability. So if your homie call you, hey, man, gracefully, you got to give him that church ring. Like, I can't do it. I ain't got it. They're like, oh man, what about this Madden? What about this 2K? What about, like, you real limited. Basically, you just kind of like waiting for Google to make games available to you, which kind of sucks. See, Harrison says it is. I just checked. Okay, so it's available on GeForce Now. So that's another streaming option. And in my experience, GeForce Now I think runs a little bit better than Stadia. It's not as finicky. Let's see. This one says the creator of Cyberpunk giving refunds might be really bad for some people with weak internet. Yeah, man, your internet has to be, for Stadia, you have to have pretty decent internet. Like, it gotta be pretty good. I know they have certain numbers that they gave for like certain experiences, but they were talking about like, yeah, if you get 30 meg down, like 30 or 40 meg down, I'm pretty positive the UPS guy just walked by. I'm pretty positive he taking my AT up there. But yeah, they're saying if you have like, I think it's like 30 to 50 meg down, then you can do 4K, 60 or something like that. Don't believe that. Because the problem is your advertised speeds versus your actual speeds versus your sustained speeds. You're streaming the entire time, right? So if at any point your connection gets weird, like right now I'm in an apartment complex, so my connection isn't my own. It's a shared connection. During heavy times during the day, it is almost unusable at sometimes. Like, just loading web pages, like, it's real weird. Zoom calls drop out. If like you have to plan around that. So I think that if you have a strong internet connection, if you're somewhere with fiber or something like that, that is ideal. You got Fios, got gigabit through somebody, that's ideal. Like, that might be a lot more feasible for you than, if you got like regular Comcast like I do. DVZ DVZ in the building. Thank you, baby. I just got a special delivery in the building. I'm gonna go ahead and unbox this right quick. I'm gonna read DVZN Media says, yeah, the Stadia library is really weak. If they had more options, it would be something to suggest, but mine's sits unused. Yeah, man. I forget the name of it. That little like game that just came out, like kind of set in the Greek world, where you kind of like can fly around and looks kind of cartoony. I was seeing that get like a whole bunch of reviews, a whole bunch of raving reviews. So I actually pulled my Stadia controller out and I played. They have a demo of that on Stadia, and I played it. It ran well, but it's not a demanding game. It's like, it's kind of cartoony, and it was cool for something like that. But as far as like sitting down, like I'm playing Cyberpunk, like when I sit down every day, and I actually have a 4K TV, like I got a 4K OLED, I'm not about to have Stadia be my main console on that. Like, I need something that's going to fill those pixels out. And then even like my internet, I have 200 down with Comcast, and when I run the test with Stadia, it says that I can't run 4K HDR with 200 down. So, that Stadia is what it is. Went the 8T in the building, live on the stream. Now it's been a minute since I had a OnePlus. The last OnePlus I had was the 7 Pro. Amazing device, beautiful display. I mean, it's stupid fast, right? Silly fast. I will say this though, that device was heavy and kind of awkward to hold. So I'm interested to see how they've changed things. I noticed AT has a flat display, which some people have been more excited about than others. I think like the, what phone is that? Like the FE. The glass is kind of curved, but the display is mostly flat. I think that's still kind of like the best of both worlds. Like I don't want like the iPhone, like that's uncomfortable to me. Just to be like super boxy like that. I think it looks good, looks cool. Durability is through the roof on that thing. Like I'm a firm believer, like that glass is regular glass. Like it's tempered glass just like everybody else. If it's still scratching at the same Mohs hardness level as regular Corning glass, the drop durability hasn't gone up that much. The design of that phone literally protects the glass. So it's it is what it is. Yeah, so my wife said that she knew I was getting a phone delivery today. She thought it was the Fold. So I know she's excited for me to get it. But this kind of is like a consolation. Open up something. So this is the 8T. And out the gate, this phone feels great. Yeah, this is like a consolation prize right now. Waiting on the Fold, something else to kind of dig into and play around with. If you didn't know, if you upgrade or add a line on T-Mobile, you get this free. So I'm gonna be switching my wife over to T-Mobile. They sent this out for free. Doesn't make my shipping woes any better because they shipped this yesterday and it got here today. So yeah, it is what it is. But I'll probably be doing like an impromptu live stream. Like I'll do a actual recorded unboxing of the Fold, but I'll be doing like a actual live stream when I get it. I don't know where I'll do it at. Probably do it on YouTube. Just depends on what else is going on. If it's like a lot of other people streaming at that time when I get it, I may not do it. I might do like an Instagram or something like that, but I will let y'all know. But yeah, man, we coming up on an hour. Make sure I know. Let me make sure I hit the rest of the comments. All right. Harrison said, my problem with Stadia is Google runs it and they like to drop stuff. Very true. If you pass up on an opportunity to get like a real console at a good price and you're like, I'm a Google guy, don't do it. Google has they got no loyalties, man. Like they've been rebranding and reshifting and dropping services and popping up replacement services left and right. Like, DVZN says, Harrison, I love Google stuff and also know they love to drop things we actually use. Those are facts, man. I used to be Mr. Google, man. Like I have so much stuff in Google. Like I pay like the $2 or $3 monthly for the extra drive storage. Google is like, to me, Google was the first company that gave you something in exchange for collecting your data. And the past companies just did it. Like they will hope you wouldn't read the EULA and take your data. DVZN said I copped 2K21 for like $1, so that's cool. How much is the 8T? Let me look that up for you. I think the 8T is either $750 or $850, but I'm gonna get you the real price of it. Let's see. And this is the T-Mobile variant. It's good to see they got to where they don't have like no T-Mobile branding. But now that I think about it, I don't think T-Mobile does that. So it is what it is. So I'm gonna go to OnePlus's site. See what they got it for. $750 starting out. So see what 750 gets you. And they got two colors, by the way. This is the silver variant. They also have I think they call it like an aquamarine blue as well. So 750 gets you the Snapdragon 865, of course, 5G, 120 hertz display, 48 megapixel quad camera. Yeah, so this is the Luna Silver, and they have an aquamarine green. So for 750, you get 12 gig of RAM and 256 gig of storage. That's awesome. And it seems to be the only variant. Maybe if I pick the green. Yeah, no matter what color you pick, the only variant is the 12 gig 256, which I think for most people that'll be plenty. I don't think anybody be complaining about 256. But yeah, I'm definitely looking forward to kind of putting this through its paces. Like I said, the last OnePlus I had was the 7 Pro. It was a great device. Cameras definitely needed some work. But outside of that, battery life has always been great. Speed, the display. I mean, it's just been top notch. Only issue was the camera. I like the way this feels in the hand. It feels a little bit like the FE in the hand. I mean, the FE is a great phone too. I meant to say that. I've been shocked how good the FE is holding up. I dropped it the other day. My confidence level with the FE, because it's got the plastic back, is probably higher than it should be, because the screen obviously is still glass. But I don't have a case on it, and I haven't been in a hurry to put a case on it. Like, I kind of just whip it around, and like, it is what it is. I would recommend it, especially, it's $699, but if you get it for like close to $500, it ain't nothing touching it. The FE for $500, nothing at all, man. But yeah, man. So be looking out for videos on this, updates on the Fold adventure. But I'm gonna go ahead and get out of here because I got a meeting at 1 o'clock. So appreciate y'all for stopping through. If you got any questions, oh man, I gotta go back, man. So Amaze Products in the building. Appreciate you for stopping through. He says you're gonna love the Z Fold, man. It's a great device. Uno Nice says how I like the Z Fold too. I ain't got it, man. He said, what's my phone of the year? Oh yeah, so I'm waiting to get the Z Fold 2 to make my declaration for phone of the year. Like right now, I'm leaning heavily towards the Note 20 Ultra, just because out of all the boxes, for me personally, it checks a lot of them, like the capability, the power, the flexibility. You got the S Pen, micro SD expansion, big beautiful display, high build quality, super versatile cameras, especially with the re-edition of the Pro video mode. I feel like the Z Fold is going to incorporate all of that, but add just like that extra flex and flair of having the folding screen to be able to, better accommodate you when you really want to kind of get down to it. But I got to get it in hand first. So until then, hopefully I get it before Friday. Uno says, okay, gotcha. Now I see the title of the stream. I was like, nah, man, I appreciate you for stopping in though, man. I really do. Yeah, like I said, I keep y'all posted. As soon as I get it, the world will know, because I'm going crazy. But yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and end it for the third time. I'm gonna hop off. All right, appreciate y'all. Peace.